Good evening. The headlines. The tanks leave Moscow as the three-day coup collapses. First defeat for the coup leaders of the Russian parliament. And the soldiers who wouldn't fire on their own people. Mikhail Gorbachev is back in office. A short while ago, the official TASS news agency reported that the Soviet had reinstated him as president. The attempted coup by Communist Party hardliners lasted little more than 60 hours. Its leaders are reportedly trying to flee Moscow. Events have been happening at great speed after it became clear the junta had failed to gain support from both the Communist Party and the military. The first clear sign that the coup had collapsed came when the TASS news agency late this afternoon announced that the restrictions imposed by what it called the former Emergency Council were lifted. Earlier, columns of tanks and armoured vehicles had started leaving the capital to the cheers of Muscovites lining the road. And a roundup of today's developments in Moscow. Mikhail Gorbachev has been formally reinstated as Soviet president. The tanks are pulling out of Moscow, and Gorbachev is on his way back from the Crimea. The KGB has been keeping him under house arrest. He's been talking on the telephone to American President George Bush. Monday's coup is over after less than 72 hours. Latest news is that the Soviet Prosecutor General has opened a criminal investigation into the 8-man emergency committee which tried to overthrow Gorbachev. There's no firm word yet on where the leaders of that coup are, but as I say, Gorbachev is on his way back to Moscow. That's tonight's news. Next, the weather. Showers will develop over the mountains of Oman and Yemen, where thunderstorms are quite likely. Along the south coast, it's going to stay cloudy with some drizzle. It's going to be humid in the Emirates overnight, especially near the coast, where there might be patches of low cloud or mist. These will clear early tomorrow, though, as the humidity drops a little, and it'll feel more comfortable during the morning. Temperatures will be near normal for the time of year, reaching 40 Celsius or 41 Celsius here in Dubai. Winds will turn north to northwesterly in the afternoon and increase to 12 knots for a time near the coast as the sea breeze sets in, with the humidity increasing a little later on. The sea is going to be low overnight and in the morning, with wave heights generally less than 2 feet, or 3 feet at most in Qatari waters. With the wind increasing for a time tomorrow afternoon, wave heights inshore will reach about 2 feet. There'll be a similar pattern on Friday, with the humidity decreasing in the morning, only to rise again during the afternoon, while temperatures climb to the August average. And for a brief recap, high humidity tonight will decrease to a more tolerable level in the morning, but slowly rise again later in the afternoon.
Television. Well, after opening at 4 o'clock with a reading from the Holy Quran, children's viewing then starts at 15:15 with Popeye, followed by Peter and the Pirates. Harry and the Hendersons, that's at 5 o'clock, after which at around 5:25 it's episode 7 of Starting from Scratch. We then move at around 5 to 6 to the UK for some horse racing coverage of the Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes. Transworld Sports Roundup, that follows at around 6:30, and that in turn precedes the early evening news at 7:30. The Bowl, that's at 7:45, after which at around 8:15 we'll be having our Thursday family feature film, which tomorrow is entitled Lieutenant Robin Crusoe, USN, and it stars Dick Van Dyke. The World News, that's at 10, after which at around 10, being a Thursday, we have the late night Indian movie Drctv, and that stars Govinda and also Kimi Katkar. Over on Channel 10 tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we have coverage of the World Under-17 FIFA Football Championships That's coming live from Italy. And at 7 o'clock we have Sudan versus Brazil, and that's followed at 9 o'clock by the UAE versus Germany. But all that's tomorrow. And getting back to tonight's viewing, and it's time for some action and adventure as we join the Wise Guy.